What's going on, people? Real quick, I'm doing a trendy job on this old 2000 Freightliner Classic. That's the one I put a 20,000 pound axle, and the customer decided to replace the transmission with the Rtlo209. I should record the video. I don't know if we're gonna have time, but real quick, brand new transmission, not a reman. It's actually brand new from Eaton. From True Inland Truck Parts, but it's a brand new, not reman. My favorite clutch, which is 2,050 foot-pounds of torque with the spine saver. Speaking of that, if somebody needs a part number, that's what it is, 6VHD. That's only clutch I will put it in. I have tremendous amount of believe in this clutch. I ran this clutches for years, never had an issue. So, and we put a new flywheel, and I want to show you what is this tool does. I don't remember where I got it. I had a couple of them, and I want to give one away. So this is brand new flywheel. How you know when you need to replace your flywheel? So you put it in. See how much clears the bolt? So, like I said, this is brand new. When a bolt, this tool not supposed to touch it. And I have a perfect example when a flywheel was turned too many times, and last time it was turned, it should have never been turned. It should have put a new one. So we're putting a bolt in, and we're putting this tool, and it's touching. There's no gap. It's literally touching the bolt. So this flywheel is junk. It's not usable anymore. I mean, you can use it, but your springs on the clutch will start touching the bolts eventually, and you'll be screwed. See, it's catching. So it's not good. In some spots, worse than other. Depends where you do it, because the flywheel has tendency to get warped. And like right here, it sits right on it. There's no gap. So flywheel was $610 or $629, something like that. See how there's a gap? It's not sitting on it. Yeah, it's not much. It's a couple, I don't know, a couple like maybe 100,000 or something like that. Very little, but it's not touching it close. So we're gonna pound a new carrier. And one more thing, if you do this job, and let's say you use your old transmission, you're doing an input shaft. The input shaft kit comes with a new clutch brake. You know what you do with that clutch brake? Throw it away and buy one of this snap-on. Yeah, that's actually snap-on clutch. This is a standard number. If you harden your clutch brake, it's a hell of a lot easier to replace these things than one piece, because you literally just unsnap it, slide another one in, snap it back in, and you're good to go. If you use a one piece, it can take sometimes 40 minutes to 4 hours to take one out. I had one in a car haul that I did a while back ago. It took forever. So we're gonna do new grease lines, which didn't have any, which they gonna go right here, and they just gonna hang down. That's what the grease is, a cross shaft. A lot of mechanics just leave those, and the problem is when you go to do your service, a lot of them can't even get in here, and they get built up with dirt, and it's impossible to grease it. But if you have a line hanging, obviously it's a hell of a lot easier. Same thing, it'd be on a clutch, you'd be one hanging up there, which I have another line, and the same thing right here, which this one is easy to get, but still like one, just the hoses hanging underneath it. My preference of oil, I will show you. That's only oil I use, is Dynaplex straight 50. That's the same thing I use in my front axle, steer axle hub, and that's what I use on a trailer hubs too, if they oiled. Obviously rear ends I use 80-90, but this is the Dynaplex synthetic, really good oil. It stands the heat. Once again, my previous truck, it had too much power, and sometimes I would get transmission above 220 degrees, and that oil is designed, I believe, to 250 before it start having a breakdown, or 240. What else? That's basically it. We put a new yoke in it, and I'm doing updated lines. Shifting tower is gonna get new isolator on it. And we putting a new shift knob too with updated fittings, bigger lines. I think they were 1/4 inch, and we're putting a 15, 16 if I'm right. It's literally a lot bigger line. I have them in my pickup. The reason being because in the wintertime, if you have a little bit of moisture build up or something, they don't seem like they don't freeze up, and the transmission shifts hell of a lot better. I'm not doing a rear main seal because rear main seal is actually dry. We're gonna clean the surface plate out, and this obviously this transmission already was changed, and I don't know which moron did it. But look at this. This is the bolt that holds the clutch. There's no freaking Loctite on it at all, and that's very important to use a Loctite. And the bolts were holding a transmission have no Loctite either, so nothing was tight. And same thing with the flywheel bolts. They had no Loctite. On a job like this, everything I put in, it actually gets red Loctite. And it's a really good time to do motor mounts, but these motor mounts were changed. I think I changed them a year ago, so we're not gonna touch them. They're actually in pretty good shape. So the total bill for this guy, including labor, is gonna be right around $13,000. The reason being, because we upgrading in transmission from Rtlo20918b to 29, which is 200 foot-pounds of torque more, and it has a filter housing in the transmission, which is very rare. You don't see this, but if you do heavy haul or you have a cranked up engine, I do recommend to have one, because right here there's be a filter sitting right there. It's just a spin-on filter. On my blue Peterbilt, which you guys see on my channel, when I put a Rtlo209 transmission, actually came factory in 29 comes with a 2. So that's how you check your flywheel, and that's if you need to do a similar job, do clutch, transmission, and everything, you're going to be right around $13,000. Obviously, you can make it cheaper if you have 13 speed. It'd be cheaper. You don't have to go with a brand new. You can go with a reman. And if you have 18 speed and you don't want to upgrade your torque, obviously you can do it cheaper too. It's not going to be up cost for those 200 extra foot-pounds of torque. This guy's really particular. I don't know, you look at a track, that's insane. The motor was rebuilt. There's a bigger rear end, pusher axle instead of twin screw drives. This guy likes his truck. This is his first truck, and I'm not blaming him spending money, because he said, I will spend money more than a truck's worth, but I'm not planning to sell it. So can't argue on that. Thanks for watching all.